Recording started.
Well, guys, I want to welcome everybody onto tonight's call. This is the UK conference call. My name is Jason Gregory, and I will be your host for tonight. This is a training call that we have every week for people who have decided to build their financial futures with Reliv. But it's also a time where we can show new people who are hearing about Reliv for the very first time the reality of what is going on. You know, my wife and myself, we decided to build our futures with Reliv over 7.5 years ago now because of the results that my family got on these products. This is why I'm on the call tonight. My background is in business development in IT. I was in a middle management position. It was paying me a very good income, but what I found is that it was taking me away from my family. So I've always been the type of person to look outside of my job to develop an income. Well, today I'm able to work from home around my family. I have the privilege of growing an international business while helping people in two areas which they struggle with the most, which is their health and their finances. And this company has paid us an ever-increasing income, sending us away on international travel as well as national travel, and it just gets better and better and better. And I have to say, it's one of the best professional decisions that I've ever made. So why are you on the call tonight? Well, maybe somebody told you about the products and you want to know more. Or maybe you've been told that there's a business opportunity and you're intrigued. Or maybe the person hasn't told you that much other than you need to listen in. Well, whatever reason you are for being on the call tonight, you're going to be glad that you did listen in. Because Reliv International is a 27-year-old food science company founded on a food formula developed by a microbiologist who studied the human cell in order to understand what the human body needed to recreate healthy cells. Taken over 10 years to develop and over 850 separate trial formulations, he reached a balance of food that aided his own body to fight back to the extent that he was able to leave a wheelchair that the doctor said he would never be able to come out of. This is the foundation of our company. The company is driven by a mission to nourish our world in both health and finances, and we are equally proud of both of those areas to Reliv. And Reliv is also specializing in an area which is known as nutritional epigenetics. In fact, we are the only nutritional epigenetics company on the planet at the moment. You get your genes from your parents, you can't change that, but you can influence how your genes are expressed. And our level of research is second to none. So Reliv is really bringing back hope into people's lives. So what we like to do at the start of every one of these calls is bring the reality of what is happening to real people. So real people sharing their real experiences. So we're going to be sharing some health stories and some business stories tonight so that new people on the call can get a big picture of what is happening. So we're going to start on the health side, and we're going to go to Waltham Abbey, to Anila. So Anila, would you like to just come on the line and just share with everybody what's happened to you while you've been taking the products, please?
Hi, Jason. About 8 years ago now, I was diagnosed with severe anemia, which is low iron in your blood. Leaves you feeling very lethargic, very tired, and you have weak hair and your skin doesn't look good. My iron level was actually so low, it was 6. And if it goes below 8, you need a blood transfusion. But I didn't want to go down that road, and a friend of mine told me about Reliv. I started taking the shakes, and probably within about 2 weeks, I noticed I had so much more energy. For example, before I was coming home from work, and I would have to sleep straight away for about an hour. After 2 weeks of taking the shake, I was coming home from work, and I had enough energy just to do the normal things that I had to do with the kids and the family and around the house. It just drastically made such a difference to my overall health, my skin, my hair, my nails. People were even noticing the difference. I had a blood test about 3 months later, and the proof was there. My iron levels went right back to normal range, and all I was doing was taking my shakes. That was amazing to me because I'm also a strict vegetarian, so I am a prime candidate for being anemic and having low iron. I've also had 2 pregnancies whilst being on these products, and I've noticed a huge difference from my previous pregnancies with energy and good health, and also my iron levels being stable. It's been 8 years and I've been taking this daily, and it's helped me and my family in so many ways that I will not stop taking these products.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for sharing that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are on the call that can relate to that, especially women that may be going through pregnancy or other people going through some of the issues that you mentioned. So I appreciate that. I'm going to go now over to Bury St Edmunds, to Gypsy. Now, Gypsy, you have had really good results on these products as well. Would you like to share with everybody what's happened to you whilst you've been on the products, please?
Yes, I'd love to. I live in Suffolk with my husband Richard, and we work in prison ministry, and I also am a glass artist. Before I was introduced to Reliv, I had been suffering for 3 years with a real low level of energy. Everything was taking so much effort. I had big problems with my gallbladder. I was not able to bend down. I had disturbed nights, and life was just seriously miserable. Also, I did not know what was in store for me long term, as doctors could not treat this condition successfully, and I had horrible side effects from the medication, and I knew this condition could lead to cancer. I prayed for help. I am so very grateful to the friend who introduced me to Reliv and gave me hope. 3 days after taking the product, my energy level improved so dramatically, my husband was amazed to see the difference. After 4 months on the product, I realized that I no longer had this digestive problem, that I slept well. Now I feel wonderful and medication-free. I have discovered to my surprise that I no longer pick up every virus, which is I used to do since I was a child. And I have been taking now really for 6 years, and I have the freedom to live a normal life. It will always be part of my diet because I have the confidence in taking what is proven to be good for me.
Excellent. Well, I really want to thank you because there's a couple of things. There's a lot of people that struggle with their energy levels and also digestive issues. You'd be amazed at how many people are struggling with that. So you sharing your story can give a lot of people a lot of hope who are going through something similar. And I want to stay in Bury St Edmunds, and I want to get your husband Richard on the line because I know that Richard's had really good results as well. And so, Richard, I'd really appreciate if you could come on the line and just share what's happened to you as a result of taking the products as well.
Well, spurred on by Gypsy's wonderful results, which got me a young wife in less than 3 days, which was wonderful. I decided to take the products myself. I've been pretty well for most of my life, but I had one rather embarrassing issue from the age of 16, and I was now 70. I've had serious constipation all my life, which alternated with very painful hemorrhoids. I took the products just to see if it would do any good, having heard a few stories, and within 2 months, I was flowing regularly again, and I haven't had a hemorrhoid now for 6 years, which has been a huge relief. But my major story has been my eyes. I lost the sight of my left eye through a condition called dry macular degeneration, wet macular degeneration, but then through the treatment they spotted another kind of macular degeneration in my right eye, which was going to render me blind, and they said there was absolutely nothing medicine could do to stop, to reverse that condition. But at conferences I'd heard stories about these conditions, and I started taking an extra product which I had flown over from America, and the result was that I went back to the hospital 2 months later to have my scan reviewed, and the little indications of signs the white dots had seen on the back of my macula, which they said were indications of this, had completely disappeared, and the optical the eye doctor was just quite amazed. He said he'd never seen anything like that. He thought, in fact, he'd got the wrong scan when he put it up, first of all. So for my money, I have loved it. I feel much better on it, and it saved my vision, and my vision is worth it, and I'm worth it. So I'm going to be a lifer for Reliv for the rest of my life.
Excellent. Well, Richard, thanks a lot as well. And again, with a condition like that as well, you can just appreciate what your body can do when it's given the right fuel and your body responded accordingly. So thank you very much for sharing that. Well, guys, you've just heard a few stories here, but one of the things that really doesn't claim, we do not claim that our products will prevent or cure any specific condition. That's not what we're saying. However, what we do say is if you give your body the right level of fuel and nutrition, your body, through its own physiology, does have the ability to fix itself. It's an amazing vehicle, but it just needs the right things. And now, because the products are so good, this is why we have such a strong business opportunity, because think about this for a second. If you was the only person with a well and you was in the middle of a desert, you would be in a pretty strong position to be developing an income. Well, that's exactly what we have with Reliv. Reliv is premium rate nutrition that allows the body to respond in the way that it was created to respond. And in the whole wellness industry, Reliv is the only nutritional epigenetics company on the planet. There is no other nutritional company that is doing what we are doing and having the level of research in regards to epigenetics. And so from a business point of view, where we are with Reliv is equivalent to where the IT industry was just before the dot-com boom. If you think about that and the gravity of what I'm saying to you, you can see what the opportunity is for somebody who wants to take ownership of their finances through Reliv. So what we're going to do now is we're going to share the reality of what can happen to somebody who chooses to use Reliv as a vehicle to take back their finances. So I'm going to start by going over to Harrow. I'm going to go and speak to Zinette. Now, Zinette, you've decided to build your business because of obviously your experience with Reliv and the products, but what's happened to you since you've been building your business, Zinette?
Yes, hi Jason. Thank you very much for inviting me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Zina Zaid. I'm from Harrow, Middlesex. I decided to join the business after my daughter actually got her results with poor circulation and very poor immune system. So I knew there was something quite special about the product. I joined at the top profit level, the master affiliate level, which is the 40% level. Initially, it was just for my family and myself to get the results. But then as we started getting our results, people started asking us how we did it. And we started sharing the information and started helping more people. In the first month, I earned a business builder's bonus of £150. We plugged into the system, and my business went into the US. Last year, 2014, I won my accommodation to the Kansas City International Conference. And, so far, Jason, I'm working very, very part-time around my full-time job. And my best month to date through all forms of income is just over £1,000. And this is really great because I'm building around my full-time job, my family, and my cat. And it means I have more choices now. But the thing that really stood out to me when I was looking at the business and the presentation was the Colloquist Foundation. This company truly believes in looking after people, their customers, their distributors, and also the poor people around the world. So I'm going to continue building and contribute more towards this beautiful cause.
Wow, well, Zinette, I want to thank you again for sharing that, and obviously just to hear your heart in regards to your passion for people, and now you have a vehicle to kind of channel that passion and at the same time build a business around what you said, and hopefully your cat will experience the benefits as well.
Yes, he's on the call.
Well, Zinette, thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay, I'm going to now go over to Buckinghamshire, to High Wycombe, to Pedro. Now, Pedro, you've been building your business, and what's happened to you since you've been building your business?
Hi, Jason. Thank you for the invite onto the call. My name is Pedro Pereira, and I'm based in High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire. My background is in business management and IT. And I joined this business around a job which limited my time. And in the first few months of plugging into the Reliv system, I made over £3,000. Now that got me excited, gave me the confidence to build, but it also showed me a window of opportunity whereby if I could invest more time into this opportunity, then maybe my income will grow. Well, that's exactly what's happened in the 6+ years that I've been building this business now, that I have experienced a number of cash bonuses with the company, including a top bonus check of £2,000 for being the most productive in Europe in one given month. My business now has gone into a number of countries. I've travelled with the company here and abroad and experienced 3 millionaire weekends. I'm what is known as a key director, and that just means I've helped other people to be successful at building this business. And my best month to date through all forms of income has been just under £3,500 in one calendar month. Now, because of that income, I've gone full-time, and I'm looking forward to all the rewards that Reliv promises anyone who's serious about building their business.
Well, Pedro, thanks again for sharing that. And again, there's many people that have passion for helping people, and they're seeing Reliv as a vehicle to do that as well as change their finances. So I just want to, again, thank you very much for sharing that, and we look forward to hearing more about how your business is going to develop from this point. And now I'm going to go over to London. This lady is originally from my hometown of Birmingham, but she's emigrated to London. But we're happy to have her up here. So Nazra, are you on the line? Nazra, if you #6 your line.
Yeah, Jason, I am. Can you hear me now?
Excellent. Well, Nazra, I'd love you to share your story and what's happened to you since you're building your business, please.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nazra Malan, and I'm from Wandsworth, London. It's just so exciting, Jason, to talk about this because it has really changed myself and my mom's business and our lives in general. We joined the business in 2012 at the top profit level, and this was just honestly just to help a lot of people in our community because we got really great health results. And by just sharing, we managed to distribute the products within 2 months. We cleared our master affiliate order, and within that 2 months, we also received a very high bonus. We also won 2 international holidays, and that also showed us the scope of this business and how we could grow in it. After plugging into the system and actually really just helping more people and getting a lot more referrals in that 1 year, we ended up we were senior directors for a year, and then our check increased in that year. It was a consistent check of £2,000. And after our first conference, we ended up advancing to the ambassador level in a year and a half. And that really just showed us that this business could take us anywhere that we wanted. We, in that period, grew. We learned, we struggled, we learned more, and within about 4 years being in the business today, we are presidential bronze ambassadors with the company, and our highest form of income has been just under £7,000. And that just shows you that with hard work, anything is possible. I mean, this business allows any person to progress. It gives you freedom of time. It gives you freedom to do the things that you love. It gives you financial freedom, but you just really have to be generally needy, and you really have to go for it in order to you have to genuinely want to help people, and that's the reason why we still do this business, and we enjoy it.
Well, Nazra, I want to thank you again for sharing your story. One of the common themes that has been shared through all 3 of the guys who have shared their business story is about passion for helping people, and really does attract a certain type of person to come and build a business. So, Nazra, again, I want to thank you for sharing your story. No. Okay, as with the health stories, the business stories that you heard tonight, that is not typical, and it doesn't guarantee that that's going to be your experience as well. Their results are as a result of their own personal effort and their own commitment to themselves. And so, as with anything, you will get out what you put in. And really, there's a very strong platform for somebody who has a passion for people, who has a genuine passion to change lives as well as change their finances, and it's a perfect platform to be involved with. So what we're going to do now, every week we really like to put the reality in front of people. Reliv is a business of reality, and we like to show people, especially new people, what it takes to be successful in this business. And the calls like this give us a perfect opportunity to do that. So what we do is we get people who have built successful businesses in Reliv to come and share how they did that. And so just to show that this is a real opportunity. Last week we had Joe and Carol Falga, who was the uplines of the host from last week, which was Leslie Probart. This week I've got my upline. My personal mentor is a presidential bronze ambassador with the company. His name is Bob Edmonds, and he's helped a lot of people to be successful, and he's built a very successful business for himself. So it's my pleasure to welcome on the call Bob. Bob, are you here?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Jason?
I am doing excellent, Bob. Thank you very much for taking the time out to come on the call, Bob. Bob, before we get into the questions, if you could just share with everybody, just give everybody an insight into your journey really so far, and then we'll get into the questions.
Sure. And, this is a story business, and that's why we always share the stories. And, my admonition to people is get good at telling stories. All right? Get good at telling your story, because it's the story that touches people's hearts. But I got involved with Reliv 19 years ago, and the reason that I did was because I was looking for more freedom in my life, for something that was good to do, more time with my family. I owned my own business, but I'd become a slave to it, and I was looking for something that was good to do. I looked at a lot of business ideas. I went to a Reliv presentation, and the first thing that struck me was the quality of the people. And if you've been around for a little bit, you'll notice that. Reliv attracts people that you want to be around. I was impressed with the facts of the company. When I saw this, I was 48 years old, and I had so much arthritis and joint pain that I could not move without something hurting me. I was tired all the time. Bottom line is I just felt like an old man. Well, in 3 weeks on just the basic products, I started waking up at 6 a.m. I quit drinking coffee all morning long and added 3 productive hours to my evening. Well, in 6 weeks, all the joint pain in my neck, back, hip, leg, knee, shoulder, all of it started to melt away. And by the end of 4.5 months on this, I was just about completely pain-free. I was sleeping great. I had mental clarity. I felt like a young man again. So what did I do? Like every other distributor, I put my family on it, my kids, parents, brothers, sisters, a bunch of good friends, people that I cared about, and they all got amazing results with totally different things. And this gave me that first level of belief in this, is that the products work. And I saw that, and I've seen this for 19 years, they always, always work. So I started doing this 10 to 12 hours per week. I didn't wait till I got all those results, but after a couple of weeks, I had to tell people about this. And I was making $500 to $1,000 a month, and I did that for a few months, and then I started to get frustrated. And luckily, I went to my first conference, like we're going to have here in July. In August. And, when I got to that conference, I learned the things that were holding me back. And the biggest thing was myself. It was me trying to do this thing because I wasn't listening to my upline. I wasn't using the system, which we're going to talk a little bit about. And when I started doing that, when I started using the system, then things started to grow. And, what's happened is now, instead of a 2.5-hour drive to work every day, it's only 30 seconds because I work out of my house here in Atlanta. I have no traffic, no boss, and no employees. My wife and I have complete freedom with our time. Financially, we're doing great. Our best income month has been right at $15,000 in profit. The company sent us on about a dozen trips, most of them outside of the United States. And what it's done is it's really given us a vision, that we'd given up on. We'd put a lot of dreams we had sort of on the back burner, but now we're doing things we never thought we would do again. Now, there's something really interesting. Richard sort of touched on that. When Reliv got started 27 years ago, nobody knew about it, and no one was really sure about what these products could do. But over a couple of years, these stories started coming in about all of his results, taking the basic products. Well, about 2 years ago, a product called Lunarich came out, and I think it was introduced in the last 3 or 4 or 5 months to the UK. And, we started to hear stories about this, and we don't really know exactly where this thing is going to go. But I started taking it, and, in a few months, in less than 6 months, I don't know exactly how long, but I had some blood work done, and my cholesterol, which has never been a problem, dropped 25%. And, that's not supposed to happen. The doctors say you can't do that so easily. Another thing is I had some skin cancer on my face, and I'd had 3 or 4 of them cut out over the years. And I talked the doctor into waiting, and I used this same product. I made it up into a paste and put it on the spot where they had where skin cancer was detected. And 3 months later, I went back into the doctor. He looked at it and said, "You know what? I don't see a thing. Why don't you come back in about a year?" So, we are right now with this new product, just like where Reliv was 27 years ago. This is going to explode upon the whole health industry, and we're the leaders of it. We are the people that have the only product that will do that. And so, where this is going in the future, this is going to be so big because we're changing the dynamics of healthcare. About what they're starting to think what really causes disease. Well, we're changing that. What the scientists are starting to to think about this. So we've got our hands on something here that is that is so big. It's like having the rights to caffeine. You're the distributor for it. We've got it with this, this Lunar Rich product. So, guys, this is the time to really, build your business. Okay? So that's sort of where I'm coming from right now, Jason. I'm excited about this.
No worries. I mean, the science is second to none. I mean, that's been proven, even down to the fact that our scientists have been asked to be keynote speakers in like World Health Summits and stuff like that. But from a business point of view, as builders, every company has got a system of doing things. Every company on the planet you can see has got a system, and Reliv has got a system as well. And it's important that people know that there's a system, because systems are predictable, so you can plug in and do what you need to do. And part of that system is Saturday training. I mean, how did you use Saturday training to help build your business?
Well, Saturday training is a crucial element of the system. And do you all have cafeterias over there? Do you all know what a cafeterias are?
Yeah.
Okay, you go and you pick and choose what you want to. Well, I learned that you just can't pick and choose if you want to be successful in this business, if you want to make an income that will give you freedom for the rest of your life and something that's willable to your kids, then you can't pick and choose what parts of the system you want to use. You need to be a master of all of them, because that's how you're going to be able to build a tremendously large organization, by plugging people into that system. And when I first got started, my sponsors were over 1,000 miles away from me, so I tied into the local meeting. And I'd go to these Saturday trainings, and I'd hear people say, well, you go to Saturday training until you want to. And I thought, what the heck does that mean? And I'd go periodically. And all of a sudden I thought, you know what? If I want the freedom that I want in my life, if I want to help people the way that I want to, if I want to do something that's purposeful, I've got to be serious about this. I've got to take this and do what I know I'm supposed to do. So I said, okay, I'm going to every Saturday training. I'm going to every Tuesday. I went to every single part of the system. And you know what? After a couple of weeks, I realized what they meant. I wanted to go Saturday morning. I wanted to go to that training, because that's how I was getting fed how to do this business. I was hearing things from different people. I was learning from successful people. And one of the things that I learned is that you can't really learn success by reading it through books. You can't learn how to be a leader. You've got to be around leaders, and you catch it from them. Okay? You're not taught how to lead. You sort of catch it. And so by going to the Saturday trainings, you're around people that are serious about their future, serious about building a business, and you see what they're doing, what is working for them, how they are building their business successfully. And so the training is always done by successful distributors. They've made a lot of the mistakes. You don't have to make those mistakes. And so, that Saturday training will really short-circuit the amount of time that you've got to invest in your business to learn what to do. It's like anything else. If you want to be a draftsman or an architect or a plumber or a doctor, you've got to go to school. And this is pretty much, going to school, going to the class, going and learning more and more about your own business, which is really about your future. And you know what the greatest thing and the greatest challenge for most people in this business is to grow as a person, all right? And part of being a successful person that has, control of their future, it's discipline. You learn what you've got to do, and then you do it. You become a person of your word. And if you say, well, okay, I need to go to Saturday training, I'm going to go to Saturday training, then you go. And you build in character as you do what you're supposed to be doing. So Saturday training was there for you, and then that's where you bring your prospects, your downline, people that are looking at this business, customers. You bring them to Saturday training, okay, because Tuesday night can be difficult for a lot of people to get free from. Saturday training gives you another option. They come in, they're going to hear a bunch of stories, they're going to hear how this business is built. It's for anybody to come to, all right, and that training is going to do a lot of the things that you can't do. Because if you tell someone, well, you need to add this particular product or you need to do this, but if they hear it from someone from the front of the room that says, this is the best thing for you to do, for some strange reason, they're going to believe a stranger more so than you. So they're going to hear from other distributors, other people, how to build this business. It gives you credibility. And then you've got systems all over the world. You plug people into those that, in your downline or people that they get plugged in all over the world.
Wow. Well, Bob, I just want to... Bob, I just want to. I mean, you've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time, and I just want to thank you for that because I mean, I know there's so much more that you could invest in us, and I definitely want to have you back on the line at a later date to give us some more of your wisdom. But unfortunately, time allows us only to get a snippet. But I'm sure what you've shared with us on the line today, people that are listening, those who are serious and taking it on board, they've gleaned a lot from that. And so I really want to thank you, Bob, for sharing that, and yet definitely want to get you back on the line to talk again and to give you more time to expand a bit further.
Sure, more than happy to.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Once again, guys, you heard from a successful person who's building their business. I read a quote the other day. It says, be the type of person you want to attract. And so think about that. You're in a business that you could potentially be helping a lot of people, but it is a business, as Bob was mentioning, and we have to grow personally and do the things that we need to do in order so that we can help as many people as we can. And so be the type of person that you want to attract, guys. So there we have it. The business works, and the business works because the products are in a class of their own. So you're going to want to get back to the person who invited you on the call, and they can help you to move forward. But a quick announcement. We have MAT School, Master Affiliate Training School, this weekend in Heathrow. You heard Bob talk about how they had a MAT School over in the US last weekend, which was amazing. We've got our UK one this weekend. There's still time to qualify if you haven't qualified already. Get back to the person who invited you on the call. They can tell you how to qualify. Friday night is an open meeting for anybody. Anybody can attend the Friday night event, which is from 7:30 to 9. The Saturday training is a closed event, and you have to be a qualified master affiliate to attend that event. But we look forward to seeing you guys there up at Heathrow. The details on the website, or you can get back to the person who invited you on the call. Also, plan to get to International Conference. Bob mentioned that as well, 2 months away. That's where people see the biggest picture of all. Get as many of your organization there as possible, and you will see the growth happen simply because of the picture that they will see. So here's a final thought for you guys. Maybe you're on the call tonight and your financial situation is not where you want it to be. Well, you need to get back to the person who invited you on the call so they can show you how your situation could turn around. Or maybe you're employed by somebody and you're making very good money already. Well, the one thing that you need to understand is even though you may love your job, you'll never own your job. You can't pass your job on to your children. You're trading your time for somebody else's money. And for whatever reason you can't trade that time no more, the money stops. Well, if you get back to the person who invited you on the call, they can show you how building a Reliv business can not just affect you, but also generations to come. Or maybe you own your own business as well, making very good money, but your business is actually owning you, so you haven't actually got the time freedom you need to enjoy the income that you're making. Well, see about getting your time back with the person who invited you on the call, because everybody needs these products. So whatever element of this call stood out to you the most, the person who invited you can show you how to move forward. Remember, every single one of us has got 24 hours in a day. Nobody's going to have any more than anyone else. So our futures are going to be completely dependent on what we decide to do with our time. So you want to get back next week to the call. There's going to be another exciting ambassador on the call, and the host is going to be presenting more health stories and more business stories. So get as many of your people on that call as you can. And the only thing left for me to say is welcome to Reliv International, and I'm going to unmute the line so everybody can say goodnight. So take care, guys.